Hey, welcome back to Miss Lee Magnificent. Today I want to talk about three types of fear that cause you to really miss out on life. Three types of fear that will really cause you to miss out on life. My name is Crystal Turner and I am here with Miss Lee Magnificent. I would like for you to, before we get started, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and then hit notifications so that you will be able to be notified each time I post a new video, which will be once a week. So, three types of fear that cause us to really lose out on life, I know is really important for us to talk about and to consider because fear is a thing that definitely holds us back. But it can hold us back in different ways depending on what it is that we are currently in fear of. So, the first fear that causes us to really lose out on life is fear of failure. I know this is a big thing for many people, fear of failure. And I'm talking about all of these in context of where it may come from. And then, yes, how that can hold you back and what's a better way to approach how we look at these situations that we may be allowing to limit us. So, fear of failure is something that for many may come from growing up in an environment where you were criticized if you made mistakes or you were told that you couldn't do things or you were not good enough to make things happen. The dreams or the desires that you wanted, someone stumped on those and caused you to believe that you couldn't. And so for many, one way to combat that has been to work really hard, to do all the things, to constantly work, to constantly try, because it's a way to keep yourself seeing yourself as being successful, being accomplished, and then from that being valuable and worthy. But the thing when we have a fear of failure that's so erroneous and does not serve you, well, is because we're going to fail at some point. And when we're functioning from this way of making sure we do everything right, when we do fail, what tends to happen is all those feelings and beliefs of not really being valuable come rushing back. Whatever that was or that thing that you were made to feel in childhood, you're met right back with it. And this could be having so many proven accomplishments that show that you are capable, but we're not really functioning from what's true. We're functioning from the facade, or I shouldn't say facade, we're functioning from the beliefs that have been placed upon us in a younger age when we didn't have the ability to challenge it at that age. A lot of times when we've been put in situations where we've been made to believe things as young people, we do tend to believe those things because we haven't developed in our own emotions, our own self-worth, just that foundation of identity is being formed. And so when you are in this place where you're fearing failure and you're doing all the things to prevent failure, and when you do fail, you look at it as being a failure, it's very devastating for many people. Especially when we haven't dealt with those belief systems that we've carried so long that we really are operating from. But when we talk about fear, we always want to go to the other end of the paradigm and talk about courage. And what courage says is that our mistakes are not our failures. They're only our failures if we just keep them as mistakes and we allow them to torment us. But our mistakes are opportunities to grow because we can't learn anything without trying something, making some mistakes. But then when we make those mistakes and we notice them, we learn from them. When we learn from our mistakes and then we apply them to how we move forward from that point, that's wisdom. That's not failure. That's growth. That's being courageous enough to try something, to fail, but knowing that you can learn something on the other side and then try again. So that idea of fear of failure, that's no good for us. The second type of fear that we tend to carry is fear of what people will think. Fear of what other people will think will keep us in this little box and not really move much. And we definitely won't move from an authentic space. When we're trying to be in the space of not experiencing people's judgment, it's really coming from this place of being judged at a younger age. Maybe you weren't accepted. Maybe you dealt with rejection in some type of a capacity. It could be rejection from a parent. It could be rejection from your peers. You could have been bullied. These types of things caused you to really have value in have people seeing your value. And if we're concerned about what people think, then that's really what we're fearing. We're fearing someone's dissatisfaction in us, someone's not accepting of who it is that we are. And when we function from that paradigm, we're really making other people our God. And the fact of the matter is, there are billions of people in the world. We're never going to be able to satisfy everyone. We're just never going to be able to do it. But oftentimes we try, and it causes us to be robotic in our emotions. So we don't express ourselves completely. We may express ourselves a little bit, then we may retract what we say, and then we're in another space and we express it this way. Give just enough to not really say much is a way of operating so that you're not judged. But, when it comes to our emotions, there's this saying that emotions are energy in motion. So we have to allow our emotions to flow. And that comes from really being who it is that we are authentically, to express yourself authentically. Let that energy come through you through authentic self-expression. When we're too much in this space of allowing people to keep our mouths shut or not speak up or not stand up, if that's what we really want to do and desire to do, then that energy is being stuck. And if we learn more and more from medicine, from Eastern traditions, that energy that's stagnant, energy that cannot move is where a lot of disease comes from. So that self-expression authentically is going to allow you to be more free. It's going to take, stripping away this idea of your value from long ago, whatever those beliefs you received about your value, is going to take stripping that away so that you can be free to express yourself as it is that you would express yourself. When we think about the universe and being in alignment with that, the universe is authentic. The universe doesn't hold back. The universe is what it is, and it does what it does. And when we are like that, then we will actually see much more come to us that is supposed to be for us, and what's not meant for us will gravitate away. It's a beautiful thing that we've made so complicated, thinking that we have to do so much and control so much to get this idea of happiness or joy. When the truth is, when we let go and we just truly allow ourselves to let go enough to be who we are, to be playful, to be silly, to be goofy, to be whatever it is that you are, to be analytical, whoever you are, when other people are not around and you don't worry what people are thinking, whoever that person is, the world needs it, because it's going to speak directly to someone or some things in this world when we are just authentic, and it helps everything to just flow. When we just flow, oftentimes the people around us, we make them comfortable enough to also just flow. It's a power behind our flow and our ability to just be who it is that we are meant to be. So the fear of what other people will think is a no-no. And what courage would tell us on the other end of that spectrum, where fear keeps us held, when we look on the other end of the spectrum with courage says that every person has their own stuff, regardless of if they're revealing it to you or not. People have their own baggage that they are dealing with. And the people who maybe are judging you are the people who more than likely aren't dealing with their own baggage. And so rather than trying to appease everyday people who are also showing up in this world to learn something, regardless of if they have an awareness of it or not, is not your concern. Your concern is to just be you. You'll be happier to just be you. And the third fear that really causes us to lose out on life is the fear of loneliness. Fear of loneliness is a big thing for people also who've dealt with rejection, especially from like a caregiver, or felt a loneliness of some sort, that idea of loneliness can really be daunting. And what that causes us to do is to keep in genuine company, or we keep company that's not authentic to us. We keep bad company when we are functioning from fear of being alone, because when we fear being alone, we function from desperation of just needing anyone around us. Anyone around us causes us to feel like we have someone. But I don't know if you've ever been in a space where you could be around so many people and feel alone. It's not about any type of company. It's about the company that really aligns with you, is the company that you want to have around you, because it will be, again, that company that allows you to feel comfortable to express yourself. Is that company that will allow you to be okay with making mistakes. It's the company that will just embrace you. And so what courage says on the other end of that spectrum is that when we learn to love ourselves, we will actually look forward to alone time, and we'll recognize that being alone is different from loneliness. Being alone is something that I think everyone can benefit from at times, because it's when we're alone that we can be quiet, we can sit with ourselves, we could sit with our thoughts, we could sit with our emotions, we could go inward and just have those opportunities to just be with the one that we should love the most in this life, in terms of other people or entities, is self. And even understanding that the kingdom of God is within us. So even sitting to be alone time with divine, or however you call that force, that's a time for you and it, and to be with you and to imagine and to create. That alone time is not just about value. It's about seeing your value enough to actually want to have some time to be alone. And so these three fears are fears that I really want you to consider. Do you give into those at times? Do you experience those? And really taking a moment to flip how we look at those situations, because oftentimes we're functioning and thinking from a place that's really to our disadvantage, and we're not functioning from a place that's in our power, because we live in a society that does not promote that. And so we have to relearn how to be in life and understand that fear really has no place in life. Fear is what causes a lot of the turmoil that we have in life. When we break it down to the very basics, those behaviors that people are functioning from that are harsh and that are, causing pain for a lot of people, it's fear. And so if we could be in a place of courage and really a place of love, we can get a whole totally different message than what we've gotten when we've gotten messages thinking from a place of fear. So that's my talk with you today. Again, I will be posting one video every week. I ask that you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and hit the notification button so that you can be notified when I post my next video. Okay? I'll see you all next time. Toodles.